just find a way. Just find a way to keep doing what you want to do. And so that's what drives me.
My inborn passion for myself and my country.
We are going to be trendsetters, we're going to be the trailblazers, we're going to change things.
Designed to be this woman who should at least make a difference in someone's life.
She calls her movement African, a brand to spread across Zambia and the African continent, describing Africans as able to solve their own solutions, a new generation of African youths who are ready to create the Africa they want to see. Growing up in Emmersdale with an aunt, Jessy Chisi describes herself as focused, purpose-driven, and full of life.
Jessy Chisi is just a young woman who's known to be a filmmaker. She's known for that path, at least in Zambia. But literally, she's just a young person who is driven and just loves to do what she loves to do. She's focused. She has a purpose for life. If I think of my childhood, I think it's quite complex because I was raised up by my grandparents. My parents died when I was really young. So I was raised up in Emmersdale. That's where our family house was. My dad's home, you know. So I lived with my aunt and 5 children. Because my parents died when they were very young, so I don't have really vivid memories of a story I would tell them. I would tell you about my mother, for example, but at least my father, you know, I would tell you because the reflective memories I have was me being always on his laps, you know, and stuff like that. I remember that very well.
Her memories growing up are of her being the black sheep in the family. She was different in many ways, and it was easily visible by other people.
My fondest memory, I was always a black sheep. In my family, I was just distinct. I was different. I was distinctive. But I remember like one guy, I think he rented as one of our flats there, Steve Salale. All the time when he looked at me from my auntie's kids and me, he would always tell me something that this one will be something in life. But I didn't know what he meant, but then it clicks to date those words that he used to say to me. Yeah, I think I was different from my aunt's children, different in terms I was the most hardworking, I was the most responsible. Yeah, I didn't have a bad record. I was always the one in the, you know, the goody, you know. So yeah, and then I was the church girl. So that also saved me a lot because I grew up in this family where obviously church influenced us, going to Bread of Life from Sunday school. Those doctrines, you know, kind of helped me to be that kind of a different child.
She says her life at boarding school helped instill the responsibility that people see today, though she had no love for boarding school.
My primary at Lusaka Girls, then I did my secondary at Mateo Girls and Chiwombo High School in boarding. Those were my 2 schools. So I went to boarding, then I didn't like it. I hated the stories of, you know, the Kaskuna stories. I don't know if you've heard of them. Weird stories. I hated boarding. For me, was just like torture. I felt like, hey, I'm in prison here. So my aunt traveled to South Africa. She went for 6 months, and I'm like, hey, opportunity. Imagine I wrote my own asking to be transferred. A minus and all. She comes back, and I'm like, hey, I'm out of boarding. Yeah, I just didn't like it in boarding school. It was horrible. I hate the most part I hated was evening. I didn't want to sleep, I was always thinking, oh, there's gonna be ghosts. And you know, imagine I was in boarding school, I never even ate at the dining hall. The first experience in boarding school was, there's this man called Mr. Pensulo. So when you arrive in the dining hall, I didn't know you need to hold your plate in the hands, you know. So, but I put it on the table for them to dish food. Then he threw my plate. It was so embarrassing, and it was a co-education, being a new girl. I was like, oh my God, I'll never ever wanna go to the dining hall. At the time I was living there, the boarding school was so skinny and dark, you know, because I was small, so slim, dark girl. I hated that.
Having a qualification in purchasing and supply, this young lady has gone on to study many different programs, but the love for film has always stood out.
Immediately after school, I went to regional campus. Actually, I'm qualified purchasing officer. I did up to advanced diploma level in purchasing. I never even used those qualifications to date. Like, I just watched, you know, I watched them like that. Then also did TV production with Zamcom. That was my second college. Then from Zamcom, I further went to Finland to study film, where I stayed in Finland close to 7 to 8 years. Yeah, I've been to Talent Campus in Berlin, Germany. I've been to Durban Talent Campus. I've been to Rotterdam, you know, and whatnot. Yeah, so then I further studied, you know, I just like to invest in, I love studying. Then I was like, oh, how can I combine art and film? Then I sort of started doing entrepreneurship with MIT, Institute of Technology. So I did my entrepreneurship course with them. Then I was like, hey, maybe I should do, I'm a scatterbrain sometimes. I should do law. So then I applied for a Harvard course to do justice, the right thing to do with Harvard. It was so interesting, I loved it. But then the time, there was so much to read, and then I was in the middle of projects. So I sort of like, hey, okay, I'm putting this one on hold. So then, obviously, when I had this opportunity to go to the US, then I was like, hey, maybe I should. I was interested more in political and social warfare. And so I was like, how can I tell my stories if I don't understand the landscape of Zambia as a filmmaker? So I was like, what can I study that? So then I applied for bachelor's degree with Zambia Open University, which I'm currently pursuing in development studies. So that gives me a more broader sense of the social and political setup of, you know, different nations, including Zambia.
Her passion and love for film started when she was young at Bread of Life International. The church wanted a documentary made, and Jessy jumped at the idea.
I was in church in Bread of Life because it's been a committed youth of my church. I love God, so that has been my drive since I was a child. So obviously, like, I was in church on a Sunday, and they announced that they wanted to do a church video, a film. So then they were looking for writers. So I thought maybe this is interesting, something that I can do. So that's how I met Lawrence Thompson. Then Lawrence Thompson then started mentoring me. Then from then I met Sakafunya, who started doing this mentoring class at Bread of Life for a film we were supposed to do. It took 2 years. Then in that 2 years, I realized that, okay, this is interesting. This is the path I want to go. Then all of a sudden, that project died. There was no film. I've never been so depressed in my whole entire life. I felt empty, I felt lost. I was like, oh, what will I do? Then at home, hey, I told you, that's when the purchasing thing came in. Go study purchasing or do psychology, you know, and I actually did research methodology also with the university. But then I was just like, this is not what I want to do. Then I started going to Playhouse with Becky. We would walk, from high school you're broke. You don't even have 1 kwacha or 2 kwacha to get on a bus. We would walk on foot with Becky. We'd tell stories. By the time we passed through Evelyn Horn, we were at Playhouse. So while at Playhouse, we met Mark Manamake, and then it was like, there's a workshop of filmmakers going on at Alliance Francaise. That's how me and Beck stormed into uninvited workshop. And then there was this called film gurus. May so rest in peace, Antonio the Katakwe was there, Catherine Kasikete, Ben Banda, and French filmmakers, and Baluf Bakupa, also Congolese filmmaker, I think. Then from there, I think that's where it took off. Then they incorporated us. Then Beck pitched a story which we were meant to write. Then our story was voted the best story, which can be, the project that they were thinking of doing in Zambia. Yeah, that's how Catherine Kasekete took us up. Started mentoring. I stayed with her for 3 years. Even though in those years, I would walk on foot from home to her office without being paid. But the amount of knowledge she taught me, I started seeing film not as just an art, but as a business, as a livelihood. She taught me to be to be a continuity girl. I think I became so good at it. I mastered the art as a continuity girl. I was just like this loyal servant. And obviously after a film, I started feeling like when you're a human being, you go through, you're like a butterfly. You go through different changes from larva, to the stage where you blossom, color has to start. So I wanted more. I saw myself more. Then when I entered for a NAMA competition in 2006, then I was one of the best scripts winners. I was the only woman, 5 were guys, and I was the only girl. Yeah, that felt really cool. Then from there, my story didn't have a director. It had a director, then he gave up few hours before the project. Then Zombie was looking at me like, hey, you're gonna direct your own story. I was like, hey, I've never directed, I'm a writer. I says, you learn. From that moment to date, I never looked back. I was anxious, but all the time when God opens a door for you, He gives you the grace for that door.
Her big break came when she won a scholarship to Finland to study film. She was the only girl among 3 gentlemen who won this scholarship.
To win a scholarship to go to Finland. Again, I was the only girl with 2 guys selected. That's how we got that film training. It was funded by the Finnish Foreign Ministry. They funded Zambians to go to Finland to learn film, and I was one of them. I took that, when sometimes everyone just needs that one opportunity. I think I took that one opportunity to heart, From the 3 guys, I think all of them, they're doing well in their own rights, but I think I thrived more, to do what I do. And then for me, it was like, this is the opportunity I waited for all my life.
From Finland, she went on to the Berlin talent camp. She was the youngest contestant and impressed everyone during her pitch.
Yeah, it helped me go to Berlin talent camp. In Berlin, there was like 4,800 applicants. I was selected. It's competitive. From Dog Station, they only needed 12 people. And I was like selected to go to Berlin in the campus. And then I think I was the youngest because there was people like in their 40s, 50s, and I was like there representing Zambia. Then when I did my pitch, that's when I met Rungano Nyoni. Then when I did my pitch, it was a full crowd watching. Then I just mesmerized everyone. In my whole life, I never seen producers come to me like, hey, we want to work with you. You know, we like your story. Because you're always the directors or you're searching for producers, but they were coming to me. And then I was like, getting there. It's like, hey, I have a producer in Finland, so I gave everything to my producer.
Like everything in life, there are struggles and bumps along the way. For Jessy, she struggles with people boxing her and judging her based on her success and her talent.
But not to say that the journey as a filmmaker has not been so easy. I've had, like, there's no day up to date I face challenges. Like, there's always 2 steps in front, 1 back step, you know, because you always meet these challenges. Every new journey gives you just new giants. You know, you just have to learn how to fight different giants, with what language, with what machines. So you always, you know, that's what has been happening. But my major challenge really has been, my own success has been a challenge to me, because sometimes it's really hard, because as a woman, like, you get really successful, not in the sense that you make so much finances, but you just find, like, I find it hard even to work with others, because they think like, oh, we can't work with her, she's already made it, but I only made 1 film, or she's a woman. Like, I'm passionate, whether it's a low budget film or with people, but you always find yourself, you know, with this, you don't know them, but already they think you've made it. So that's what society does. It boxes you with your own success. So sometimes I miss those days where no one knew me, I could just flow in what I do, you know, just working with men, and, you know, you need to justify or ridicule you. Even people who know, like, you're so talented, they just want to sit on your opportunities. Like, I've never succeeded because I know a minister or a president, a powerful person. Everything that I've acquired for me today has been on merit and hard work and just that, you know. But sometimes it's not like I come from a rich family or, you know, I travel a lot. It's just that my talent, I never ask for it. It just takes me there. And then one thing I've noticed, like, when I go through such stuff, challenges, and the most hurting thing was like, I think this will shock everybody, because I think I regret, for example, making the STP project, the film itself, because it brought me so much pain. Like, from working with my producer, I suffered for 5 years to just have that film made of STP.
Today, she is working on a project that takes you back into the compounds and brings back those childhood fantasies that African children have. A project that immediately dries her tears and makes her smile.
My current project, Imagination, is more of a child fantasy. Yeah, so basically it was an idea given to me through a picture I saw on Facebook. Then it reminded me, like, yeah, we as kids, we had all these fantasies.
Lady, cameraman, lady, 3, 2, 1, 0, action! Action!
I wanted to tell a story about African kids in an African setting where, you know, our dreams as Africans, whether we're coming from compounds, our happiness as opposed to rich societies is just different. You know, they don't have obviously the basic needs, but they're most happy. I wanted to show that. I wanted to show that beyond those walls, there's people, yeah, there's dreams. So imagination, basically, it's about that. It's exciting. It's about kids. You know, we shot it on location in garden. The kids were just excited and happy, and yeah.
Her efforts in the film industry have not gone unnoticed. She has gone on to win many awards, and the opportunities have opened doors that no man can shut.
My passion for film has, despite the challenges, the downcast, I should really be grateful of the doors that the film has opened for me to travel, to see, to be able to access things that I wouldn't have accessed if I wasn't here. It has opened doors, for me to go to the US as a fellow. I've won awards. I've been to Texas, I've been to Switzerland, I've been to Finland, I've been to Germany, I've been to many countries. And currently I just got an interesting project coming. I just got a call from South Africa, like, we want you to direct this one film. I can't talk much about it. So next week I travel for my interview meeting.
Her drive comes from Proverbs 24:16. For the righteous man shall fall down 7 times and rise, but the wicked stumble when calamity strikes.
What drives me is the fact that you can fall 7 times and you can still stand. If they never had that chance and the ability to still, to still fly high like an eagle and go into hiding and remove the feathers, even though they're very painful, and start all over fresh and new. And for me, that's the drive. Every time I try to fall at the lowest moment, I think I stand so tall. That has always been my drive. I know, like, you can feel in that low pit, but then you can get lifted with yourself. And then your self-drive. I think self-governance. Every human being needs to self-govern themselves.
The generation of young people today must understand that you don't need a big plan. Even the little idea around can be a great ingredient to creating a great thing for the community.
I think the importance of young people doing something, it's generational. It's you being your own stepping stone for the other people's future. Because as a young person, if you start getting involved from inception, you know the struggles, you understand, and then you get the drive. If young people get to understand the responsibilities, you don't need huge visions. Your responsibility starts from your home. Get involved in your communities, in your surrounding. What are you doing? What are you involved with? Even your own life, get involved. Don't just sit and hope and wish. Get involved with your own affairs.
Jessy is giving back to her society by sharing her knowledge and passion for film. To date, she has trained over 200 young filmmakers. She is also working on creating a better image of Zambia and Africa.
Well, how I've gotten involved is that I told myself, like, if telling stories is a giant, it's like an elephant. If you eat it alone, you die, you get suffocated. So many stories in Zambia that I cannot tell alone. So I said, if I can make 200 Jessy Chisi, for me, we are an army, to take Zambia somewhere. So every year I train 50 young people. I'm proud to say I've trained over 200 young people. I'm proud to see most productions or production houses have people that I've trained who have worked on international film sets.
Great. Sound! Ready! Cameraman, ready! 3, 2, 1, 0, action! Action! Hindi na directed. Mag, ingat sabi mag.